Welcome home. My name is Sam. I am a dedicated matrescence educator, a passionate advocate of motherhood, and a mom just like you. On this channel, we dive deep into the world of matrescence and we talk all things motherhood, the challenging yet very wonderful transitions of motherhood, and just momentary in general, mom commentary. Today's video is going to be a little bit different. As you can see, I'm not in my normal filming area. That's right next door to my son, and it is 6 a.m. So we're downstairs in my office, and I'm going to be doing just a little get ready with me and talk about like the state of the union, like where I'm at in my motherhood, what's come up for me recently, and what I've learned and what I hope to learn from. So if you are interested in that, I hope you'll stick around, hit that subscribe button, and let's get started. One thing you should know about me is I do love makeup. I've always loved makeup. I remember, I've told the story a million times. If you've heard it, I'm sorry. When I was like 8 years old, I got a little play makeup tower for Christmas. And I told my mom, this is going to be my daily makeup now. And she was like, no, fair enough. But I guess this time I'll go through like what products I'm using as I use them. But I don't know if I'll always do that. We'll see. This is the Infallible 24-Hour Fresh Wear Foundation. I've used this for like 7 years and I still love it. Maybe not 7 years, as long as it's been out. I think 5 years I've used it. So where are we at in motherhood? Right now my son is going to be 2.5 in October, end of October. And so we're honestly kind of in this like lull of things are pretty good. And I always hate saying that because in general, I feel anxious when I say things are good. It's like, okay, what's going to go wrong? He is going through a little like sleep regression kind of thing where I don't even think it's a sleep regression. I think it's a separation anxiety thing. He just doesn't want to be away from me. When he was a newborn and up until he was about, I don't even remember honestly, 5 months is when he slept through the night for the first time, aside from one fluke when he was like 7 weeks old. I'm going to say a lot in this video, aren't I? Goodness. Don't take a shot every time I say But yeah, sleep was a really challenging thing for us for a long time. And so I found myself really struggling with it because it's almost like I'm back there. It's almost like the same feelings come up and it's not the same. Like if he doesn't get a nap, like it's gonna suck. It's gonna ruin my day, but it's not gonna ruin my night and my next day and my next day. And when I was in postpartum period, I was so obsessed with sleep because I was not getting any. I also think it gave me kind of a sense of control. I was trying to get a sense of control from sleep when I didn't have any control in a lot of other areas in his life. Didn't have control there either, so I don't know what I was thinking, but it was probably the hardest part, aside from feeding, in my early motherhood experience. And I felt a lot of anger at that time, and I didn't know how to manage it. I just thought I was a bad mom for feeling that way. And in reality, I can look back now and say I was like severely sleep deprived and frustrated and probably had heightened anxiety just because of everything that was going on in motherhood and not sleeping and hormone shifts and all of that. But now I'm sitting there rocking him, and we just cuddle a little bit before nap time, and I'll sit there and rock him, and he's kicking and he's messing around, and I get really mad. I feel that same level of anger like kind of boiling up inside of me, and it's probably the closest thing I could say to mom rage. I don't usually feel that like when he's acting up, and I have to say he doesn't act up a ton, but when he's throwing fits or he's acting up, like I don't really feel mad. I feel frustrated. I feel annoyed, but I don't feel mad. I feel mad when he won't sleep, and I know that I shouldn't, and I think that's what makes it harder because it's like I know this isn't like a personal attack on me. Also, I forgot to say I use the NYX Bear With Me concealer. But yeah, I know he's not like trying to hurt me. I know it's just him having a hard time and him not wanting me to leave, and that's not something I should be mad at him for. It's just I feel mad because it's that kind of motherhood ambivalence of like what you need is different than what I need right now. I shouldn't feel this way. So the shame compounds, and I'm mad at myself, and then after I'm just like, and the rest of the day I'm like this shell of myself. Like, man, I wish I wouldn't have done that. And with this bronzer stick from Nude Stick in the shade, I think it's just bronze, Bondi Babe. Bondi Bay. All right. So I did talk to my therapist about this, and she kind of said the same thing that I was feeling of like, is this just like triggering me? Am I back there again? And there's been some other like stressful situations that have happened in my life recently that I think has kind of made me a little more on edge. I've been spending too much time on social media trying to get this business started up, and it's just like all kind of compounds for me. And so not only did I have the actual stressful situation of Teddy not sleeping, I also was just like stressed on top of that. So it's like these straws on the camel's back, you know, it just kept adding up. And so we talked about some strategies, and what has really helped me is one, to think of that, like to keep reminding myself, like, it's not about you and it's going to be okay. This isn't a newborn scenario. Recognize that, like, I'm in control of my emotions. He's not, this isn't an attack against me. It's not the same thing. It's to really ground myself. So what I've done is a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 technique. And what that is 5 things you can see, 4 things you can hear, 3 things you can touch, 2 things you can smell, and then 1 thing you can taste. So you're in the moment and you just kind of look for those things, and doing that immediately takes you out of that anger, out of that situation, and you're focused on something else. And it just gives me enough time to kind of ground myself. It helps, and I have to do it a couple times sometimes, but it has been helping. Go in with a cream bronzer, cream blush from Fenty in the shade Strawberry Drip. He has been sleeping better too, because I've really shortened our nap time routine. What we used to do for nap time is just like go up to his room, turn off the lights, put on a nighttime diaper, cuddle, go to bed. And then when he was home, we kind of got in this routine of like, I don't know why, but like, let's read books, let's kind of do our nighttime routine at nap time. And I think dragging that out really just made him like not like realize what was happening, not wanting to go to bed. And so last week I was like, you know what? No, we're gonna just go back to what we did before, and like no playtime at nap time. Just go up, nap, bed. And he has slept like 2 hours, over 2 hours every time he's taken a nap this past week. We only had 1 day where he cried one time, and I went back in and just said, "You're safe. I'm safe. It's okay." And he went to sleep. And so that's the thing. People were like, maybe he is ready to drop his nap. I'm like, I don't think so, because he sleeps a lot when he lays down to sleep, and he still goes to bed at night around 8:30. So yeah, it's just been a really eye-opening experience for me. I'm going to use this Charlotte Tilbury bronzer in medium. I believe this to kind of go around where I put that bronzer and leave my blush intact. So you can see that. I learned a lot from that situation. It's brought up a lot, and I'm grateful that we're hopefully on an uptick, but the day is coming where he's not going to nap. The day is coming where he's going to fight naps, and I feel like I'm a little more prepared for it. I don't know, I feel a little proud of that, but I also feel like naive. You know, it's like, I feel like we're doing a good job, but like, again, when's that other shoe going to drop? When's the other thing going to happen? But the great part about parenting is knowing that that thing is going to happen, right? Like, no matter what happens, like, there's always going to be a next thing, right? There's always going to be, once you think you have it figured out, he's inevitably going to change. When they change, we have to change. And that's a big part of matrescence. It's like, okay, like, I'm a toddler mom now. Like, I got this. Like, we've got this whole schedule figured out. And then it's like, oh, you don't want to nap anymore. Cool. How do I do this? Like, how do I be this parent? And that's so hard. But that's why this is important to talk about, I think, because I know that it's normal to feel that way now. And I know that I'm not like a bad mom for feeling frustrated or for feeling like it's hard, because it is hard. I'm going in with this palette I've been holding this whole time. This is the Lunar Beauty Nude Prism palette. It's beautiful. I use this almost every day. Bare all over my lid, and I'm going to put a little bit of cherry blossom in my crease, and then a little bit of apricot and sakura in the corner. And then I'll probably put a little bit of that in the outer corner too. We'll see. We'll see where we go with this. Personally, I've been feeling a ton of anxiety putting this stuff out onto the internet. Growing up in a small town, I always felt like I had to be perfect and do everything perfect, or else I shouldn't put it out into the world. And if I put stuff out into the world, people are going to want me to fail. And I'm sure there is a degree of that. Like, I'm sure that's true to some extent. But it's always kind of stopped me from like really fully pursuing anything. The last like week, I've been up at between like 1 and 3 and like shot up and been like, fuck, like just immediately, like, what are you doing? Oh my God, it's just like who it feels so like ingrained in who I am to be afraid of failure and to be afraid of people watching me fail. So to do something like this is really scary. It feels like such a bigger thing than me, that it's helped me to kind of move past it. And I've given myself a year to just something established. And if nothing really takes off in a year, then I'll reevaluate. That's helped me to kind of let go of it. Another thing I've done is I've kept my phone upstairs for the last couple of days. Haven't been scrolling. I haven't been on anything. I'll like post what I need to post on my computer and then comment on my computer and stuff, but I'm not scrolling. I'm not like comparing myself, and I'm not just like dicking around on my phone. I feel like the more time I spend on my phone, the more anxious I get, the worse of a mom I feel like. It felt impossible, honestly. Like I thought about it Saturday. I was like, what if I just left my phone upstairs tomorrow and I just like completely detoxed from my phone? And by 5 p.m. I had 8 minutes on my phone that day. And that was because I turned on screen time and left my phone screen on while I cleaned up my room. And then I was like, oh crap. So like I had no time on my phone that day and I felt so good. I feel so good today. And maybe that's just like being avoidant. I don't know, but it feels good. And so I'm going to keep doing that for the time being. Like I'm recording on my phone right now, but I'm just going to put it away after this, and that feels good. And then last thing that's new in the State of the Union is tomorrow I'm going to get Lay's MD and a skin pen done on my skin, and I'm really, really looking forward to it. 14 months after Teddy was born, I started getting acne like all along my jawline and up into my ears, and now it's like on my cheeks, and it's just these like little white dots. I should have done a close-up. It gets worse throughout the day. And I have what's called dermographia. So it's like this, it's like just like I have sensitive skin. And if I itch my skin, I give myself hives. Like I activate histamines in my skin, which like gives me bumps. And so I think part of it maybe is that I touch it a lot and it gives me bumps. With dermographia also, like I can like scratch myself and you'll see lines come up here. It's gonna be like $300, which feels like a lot, but I've been dealing with this for over a year now. I even got my IUD out to see if that was causing it, and it actually got worse after I got my IUD out. Nice little scratches. That'll be there now for the rest of this video. I'm gonna go in with an eyeliner in brown from Tarte. Yeah, so it's just gotten worse, and I'm not like super religious with my skincare, like with serums and stuff, but I wash my face every night, take off my makeup every night, double cleanse every night, and I just can't, it just doesn't go away, and it gets worse throughout the day, which is so weird to me. So trying this thing out, we'll see if it works. I'm gonna film it too, just to show like a kid-free morning, and try to embrace this thing, because that mom guilt can be, like I said, it's so hard sometimes. Like I feel like I should be spending that money on my son. I feel like I shouldn't be doing this for myself. I feel like it's wasteful, it's vain, all these things that like women are told that's like femininity is frivolous, and it's not. Like, first of all, it's not. I love makeup. I love doing this. I feel good when I'm done. This is a hobby for me, and I'm not going to apologize for it. Same thing with like wanting to have nice skin. I think everybody wants to have nice skin, right? Why wouldn't you want to have nice skin? And it not only does it, I don't like the way it looks. It bothers me so much the way that it feels. Like it sometimes will like itch, or just like I know it's there, and so I want to touch it, and so I want to see if I can take care of it. And I'm going to go in with Lash Paradise mascara from L'Oreal. I've also used this for about as long as I've used the Infallible, and I use brown black because I'm an autumn apparently, which I don't listen to as much as I should. But yeah, so that's where we are. I've been kind of an anxious mess. I want to have a second kid. I'm there, I'm ready, but it's a larger conversation that I don't know if or when that will happen. And so I think that is the final look. I'll put on some lip gloss or something, but that's it. I know it was kind of rambly. I hope it still provided some value. Hopefully I can crop that down to be a little bit shorter. If you want more information on matrescence and motherhood, you can head to welcome-mama.com. You can also follow me on TikTok and Instagram @_welcomemama for more shorter form content. I also post shorts on YouTube. Thank you so much for being here. Welcome, Mama. You deserve to enjoy this. I love you, but there's no room for me now. Here we go. Over here. Ripley, go over here. Go. Stop it, Amber. Ripley. Okay. This was not meant to be.